So, you might want to know, how do I take better notes? Specifically around fighting games. And, well, I have a rough method. Basically, I write down anything I think I'm going to forget that I think is worth knowing. That's a lot of things. But that's kind of how I write things down. Now, at the beginning, there are too many things to memorize. There's too many things. So at the very beginning, I'm just going to write down things that I think are most important to remember, or what I'm currently working on. I do my notes on college food notebooks. That's pretty cool. It's pretty useful. Here, let's bring out my notepad actually so you can see it. I don't know how long this will take to go over, but it'll take what it takes. Get in there. Get in there. God damn it. Ah, get in there. Little bastard. Little shit. There it is. Okay? See my notes? See those notes right there? My camera's a little... You're like it was a little too far over that way. So, please don't break my stream. Please don't break the stream. Okay, safe. All right, so here's what I'm working on right now, right? This basic Oki traps. You've been seeing this up on my screen for multiple days in a row. And the reason you see that is because this is currently the most important thing. And I'd like to break things up into chunks of information. If you remember from older videos about working memory and about how to make your reaction times faster, it requires chunking. So my notes are how I chunk information. Think of chunking as your mental file system for your computer. If your computer could only have 7 items in the largest folder system, if that's the max it could ever have, then how would you organize all of your files? That's what I do. I'm constantly trying to organize the information and parse it down in some variety so that I can have a thinking tree, like a skill tree, basically, in my head that is about 5-ish items in it. I like giving myself a little bit of headroom so that I can spend it on other things like reacting to my opponent or attending to what their mix-ups are, but so I don't like fully overloading my own stack. But my notes are really me trying to, how can I limit the stack? What can I do? So for instance, with Oki, wake up options. Okay, so we have 1, stand up. Okay, cool. They stand up, I can do any of these things. Awesome. And then these, actually, every time I do anything like that, I'm rolling the fucking dice. Every fucking time. To roll the goddamn dice. We're back. Okay. Well, hopefully it doesn't fuck up the recording. Hope, whatever. If it does, it does. We'll do it live, right? We are live. So, wake up options, right? I want to break it down. So the first one we have is stand up. Okay, cool. And then we have wake up backwards. That's 2 options. Laying on ground, that's 3 options. Delay wake up, 4. Moving, any kind of moving, that's 5. Wake up attack, that's 6. Boom. We are at 6. We're under 7. Perfect. Now, that's my upper folder. This is how my notes are organized. They're organized in this format. I don't want to have more than like 6 things to be worrying about at the higher order of anything, because that's too much. It's just too much. You can't have more than that. And then the next layer, within a layer, I can have up to 7 more items. This is how I try to organize everything. So now we're going to go within the first item. Stand up. Okay, cool. What's in there? 4 things. Three things, really. That's a higher order. crouch cancel back 1+2, up forward 3, or while standing 2. 3 options. Now note, you'll see a similar thing for all the others here too. From here to here, you'll see more than 7. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with those later. Here's only 1. It's only 1. 1 with some more kind of branching path. I'll tell you how that works too in a second. This is not working on my notes though. So you'll see here, we'll stick with the first one. Okay, we have 3. But look, I have another indentation. This is another thing saying, this loses the back row wake up. Specifically this. Now I think all of these lose except for, no. I'm saying this particular one loses the back roll. I also happen to know this loses the back roll as well, so we're gonna add it there too. So that gives me 2 options. I can now, chat, also, is this big enough for you to read? Like, can you see this? I hope you can. It's okay? It's okay. Okay, good. I know it's not like ideal, but like 1 notch above that here. It might break. Give it 1 sec. We're safe. We made it. We made it, chat. We made it. We survived. Okay? Because the formatting is kind of important. So if it's not formatted properly, it screws it up. Because these intents are important. So now, from here to here, I have 2 ways to organize this in my mind. Because notes are just a reflection of the mind. I could say, within stand-up, I have 3 options. One of them is good all the time, but it's adjust frame. So I can fuck it up and get hit. The other 2 only work if they stand up in place, but if I mess up, I'm not like totally screwed unless, well, it's almost impossible to mess these up. You're not gonna mess those up. But they both lose to wake up back roll. So I could categorize this in 2 ways. I could say stand-up options that lose to back roll, stand-up options that lose to me being bad, aka not getting adjust frame. Those are another way to organize it that kind of reduces the mental load. And then within the option of lose it to back roll, I can choose whatever I think will be easier for me to do. I like while standing too, because it's just really cool. It's just a really cool move, and I like using that move. So, does that make sense? First, at the first layer, or I guess we went pretty deep into 1 layer. Makes sense. Okay, great, perfect, awesome. Next step. So now you're gonna look. We're gonna go deep into this one. Within lay on ground, you'll notice there are way too many options. I've broken my rule. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options. Basically, yes. And if you find that you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items in a grouping, you've screwed something up. Now, that's fine to start, but later on, you're gonna have to go back in and look at it more deeply and say, okay, realistically, how can I group these things together? Well, we have AOP while landing. We have AOP here. So these all require being an AOP. So we could kind of group these up into AOP style options, right? AOP based options. AOP. Bam. That's 1 set of options. And now we've already, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already reduced it to 6. They remove running slide. Where is that? Is that an option here? Did I write that down? Are you saying I removed something that I didn't have already? Because if it's not, if I don't have it on my list, I don't need to unlearn something I didn't know. Is that what you're saying? I don't see any running moves. Here. Crouch cancel back 1 plus 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. That's another thing I do. I don't hold any information that's not relevant to the game I'm playing currently. I gotcha. I didn't know. It's okay. I'm not gonna remember it. I'm actively like exercising that from my mind. So crouch cancel B plus 1 plus 2. That's pretty cool. So we can use. Let's make this our like top option, because the order of the options actually also matters, because that can be the order of our decision tree. So we'll start here. This is our first. We prefer this, and then we choose other things afterwards, right? So crouch cancel back plus 1 plus 2 will beat lay on ground. It'll beat back roll. It'll beat stand in place. That's 3 options being beaten with 1 option. If I'm not bad, it's a big if, but if you're not bad, that's pretty good, and it gives you more reason to practice it. Full crouch 3, okay, cool. 3 plus 4, okay, cool. We can't really group those together. Up back 4, can't really group that together either. This we could potentially say goes right after this under big read. So what we could do is have big read, small read. We could have the second tier option be big read, small read, and big read would be up back 4, right? And then we can further categorize them not just into what the moves are, but into the function of these moves, right? That's an even better way. That's what your notes should do. Your notes should be a way to organize your attacks in context so that you understand what the risk and reward of your choices are along the way when you're just looking at your own character. When you look at other characters and you're looking at matchups and defensive things and how your moves interact with other people's moves, you're going to do the same process with them too. It takes a long time. So I have 24K characters in this documentation that you're looking at right here. The full crouch 3, I don't really like that so much. 3 plus 4 is pretty good. I could also categorize them as lows as well. Lows and mids is another option. You'll see that, where do I have it? Here, for my tech traps, down forward 3. Down forward 3 is so risky that I don't even want to put it on the list. It's in the category of like, I know it's there. Like, I know it's there, they know it's there, we all know it's there. It's so poor, and the read that's needed for it to be used is so big, I don't even want it on the list. That's an example of a move that's like a garbage move. You don't need it in your space. It's just taking up space in your head. Only moves we want in this list are moves that are reliable, useful, and have real place in a mix-up that we see the better Ling players use. That's what we want to see here. We could also add up forward 1 for small read. Up forward plus 1. That also works. These leads you in AOP because that's a small read. Like that. And that's what all my notes are doing, everywhere, all throughout. I'll put down here like things I want to practice, notes from videos that I thought were useful, things that people said in chat that I thought was useful, and I copied and pasted it in here, drills that I find written somewhere, defensive notes. Anything and everything that I think might be useful, I put in here. And if it's not useful, well, whatever, fine. Who cares? Doesn't matter. I'm not paying for this. This is free. And if it is useful, great, I have it. So why not? You know? Why not? So, that is how I take notes. That's what I'm always thinking about as I'm making them. So at some point in time or another in the future, I do go back and condense them. like I just did there. I did it in real time with you. It's even better to do that in the game when you have the game in front of you and you're like trying things out, putting them in context. It also helps when you get distracted because I get distracted very easily. Even when I'm labbing things, I'll like find 5 million new things while I'm labbing one thing, and then I'll have to lab those new things as well. And then more new things happen and becomes an ever expanding branch of laboratory and laboratory branching, which is also I'll write things down. So when I have an idea, I'll write it down because I'm gonna forget it. I can always go back and watch my old streams and find out what I did, what I was thinking, but it's much more efficient to just write it down. So that's what I do.